Okay. Say yes if you can hear me. Type yes, you can see me. Type healing if ready for transformation. Ready to have fun. Type fun. And if you were watching the replay, I want you to type hashtag replay. Those of you when you watch the replay on this, okay? All right. So I am super excited because today, and by the way, let us know where you're joining from. Let us know where you're joining from in the comments, so that we know who's all here. That would be amazing. So again, just let us know when you're joining. I see Jerry, I see Maclia, and I know Rhea is going to be joining here shortly. So again, just let us know in the comments. I know we're a couple minutes early here starting. I like to get started so the notification goes out early. So let me go ahead, actually go back and message or record this. Okay, everyone. So I'm going to say this one more time. I want you to type yes if you can hear me. Type yes if you can see me. Type yes, we're ready for fun. Type fun if you're ready for fun. Type healing if you're ready to silence your imposter syndrome inner critic. And all the things, okay? If you want to put transformation, or you want to put healing, you want to put release, you want to put unstuck, you're ready to get unstuck, okay? So I want you to put those things. Again, when you watch the replay, those of you that watch this replay, please put hashtag replay. All right? Okay. So let me go back for a minute to the Facebook group. Okay, we've got somebody joining from New Hampshire. We've got somebody from the Philippines. Rhea is actually joining from the Philippines. And then as you join, again, let us know where you're joining from and put that in the comments. And when you watch the replay, do the same thing. When you do hashtag replay, let us know where you're joining from. You're from the US, we're in the US. If you're from, we've had people from the UK, from other parts of the world. Just let us know where you're joining from. Okay. All righty. So I do want to do one quick thing. I'll play it after. Okay. All right. So there is a song that we played last time. We did some karaoke last time. And yeah, so I'm getting my slides ready here, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So last time we did a little bit of karaoke, and I'll share the link in the comments. And the song that we sang last time where we did karaoke is called This Is Me. And it's very much about letting go of the imposter syndrome and letting go of being perfect, right? So kind of similar to the song where we played The Scars to Your Beautiful. It's a similar type idea, right? Oh, you know what, you guys? I need to share my screen. I haven't done that yet. Sorry about that. Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen. There we are. Beautiful. Okay, now you can see what I'm talking about. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so now you can see what I'm talking about. All right. Let me also mute this. Okay, so one of the things that I'd like to do is I want to take a quick minute. Second. take a quick minute to go back to some of the homework. I just want to take like 1 or 2 minutes to do this. So we had students, and we've continued to post this in the homework. So the Ready for Change quiz is something you could choose to take today. You could take it tomorrow. Even though we made it as day 1 homework, we've continued to post that quiz in the group. So if you have not done that yet, then I invite you to go in and do that. So let me give you some of the homework that people have done. I'm not going to tell you obviously who did it, but just to give you an idea. Okay, so the first day homework, the reason I'm going back to this, because it's touching on the inner critics. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping here before I get into today's lesson. And we're also going to be covering soul work today as well, by the way. So we're going to talk about this, the 4 or 5 common inner critic thought patterns that we all have. And one is, I don't have the time, I'm too busy, maybe later. The second one, I don't have the money or the financial resources. Number 3 is, I don't have faith that this will work for me. So that you're not trusting yourself. Or you're not trusting yourself to follow through, right? Or number 4, I have no courage, only fear of judgment. So you're too scared of judgment, so you stay like in procrastination and you don't take action. And then number 5 is, I have no right to put myself first in healing and transformation and self-care. Okay. So, we had a lot of students that struggled with not having faith in themselves, or they felt like they didn't have the right to put themselves first in their own healing and transformation. They felt like self-care was selfish. And for some of them, it was all 4 or all 5, right? It was, I don't have time, I don't have the resources, I don't have faith in myself, I don't have courage, and I don't have the right to put myself first for healing and transformation. And then there was a lot of students that scored really high on the Readiness for Change quiz, which is amazing. Okay. And then some people actually called it their excuses, right? I'm too busy, not putting my needs first. So something I'm going to do, I'm going to post the day 4 homework after we're done here, but then I'm also going to post the day 1 homework as well. So just so you know, I will do that as well. So one of the things too, I just want to take a quick minute to mention with the scholarships that we are taking calls actually through Saturday, the 22nd. So on Sunday, we'll announce our 1 winner. But what we're also doing is we are, here, let me put this back actually. Let me put this on here for a second. And Rhea, if you can put the link in the comments too for this, the scholarship page. So I want to take just 2 minutes to talk about this, and then we'll get into the lesson. So there's a lot of students that wait until the last minute, okay? And so sometimes we call these like, you know, the Bobs or the Judys or whatever you want to call it, that you're like you're that student that waits till the last minute, okay? So if you're one of those students, I invite you, if you're curious about the partial scholarship, to go ahead and fill out the form and schedule a call. So the form will take about 10 minutes and the interview call is about 15 or 20 minutes, and it's very casual. I also will send you a video that will kind of give you an overview. It's a 10-minute overview of the program and of common frequently asked questions that we get. and also what the why is of why we started the program, okay? And why yoga psychology for mental health and mental and spiritual and physical health. So again, if you have not, I'm not saying that you should or that you should join the program. No big deal if you don't. Just letting you know, if you are curious, that there is a time frame, okay? And we are opening this up actually to the public on Sunday. So we're keeping this to this, you know, folks that registered for this and also in the group. And again, the folks that registered for the Silence Your Inner Critic workshop. And then after Sunday, this is going to open up to everybody else. So again, I just want you to know that we are offering a significant partial scholarship as part of this process. So we are asking for students that are ready to invest financially, time, and energy. And then out of those students that are doing partial scholarships, one of them will get a full scholarship, if that makes sense. Okay. So they have to be willing to invest either way, if that makes any sense. Okay. Because we're looking for committed students, because this work, this yoga psychology work, is super important work in the world. We are actually healing generational trauma. And so we want students that are either focused on their own healing and transformation, whether that's for their family, whether that's as a platform, as a ministry, or it could be that you're wanting to coach other students through this, or you're wanting to be a yoga teacher and use this yoga psychology and yoga for mental health and transformation as a platform. Okay. So this is 10 years of work that I've done, all of you. So I'm taking 10 years of all of my work and therapy and group therapy and yoga teacher trainings. And at this point, probably going on close to somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 hours of teaching. Okay. In addition to all of my certifications. And then that doesn't include all the business coaching that I've done as well. And I did want to mention, for those of you on here that are coaches or yoga teachers or business owners, that you are looking to integrate yoga psychology or breath work, meditation, cognitive behavioral change, helping people change their patterns, doing somatic trauma-informed work, trauma-sensitive work, doing generational, family of origin trauma work, therapist, then I invite you to consider this. Okay. All right, you all, because we are only doing 10 spots for this with the partial scholarships, because it is a significant partial scholarship that we're giving. And as I mentioned, the first 5 people that do commit and put their deposit down will be going to the Sedona retreat as well, which is in October. Okay. And there's different levels of investment for that as well. Okay. All right. All right. Somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure what to do, say yes and figure the rest out later. Okay. So let's get started here, you guys. So over the next 5 days, right now it's 2 days, but for those of you that are going through the replays, this week, we're transforming our thoughts to radical self-acceptance this week and in the next 6 months without spending time in fear, self-doubt, procrastination, and judgment. Even if you've tried or failed or tried other things because it did not work. So one of those common inner critics says, this isn't going to work for you. This worked for Jennie and this worked for other students, but this isn't going to work for me. Or I tried other things, I tried other programs, or I tried talk therapy, or I'm on medication, or whatever the thing is, and that didn't work for me. So this isn't going to work. This is what the inner critic does. Okay. It's there. I wish I had a stop sign. Okay. It's there to like hold up a stop sign and stop you. Okay. That's what the thinking mind, that's what its job is. So I want you to trust yourself to be your own best advocate and to choose yourself. Okay. And again, remembering that self-care isn't selfish. And if you are wanting to step into teaching yoga psychology, whether as a teacher, as a coach, as a leader, as a ministry, as a therapist, as your own professional, career, as a mom, and you're wanting to heal generational trauma, then again, I invite you to know that you've got to let go of the mindset of this is selfish for you to do your own healing. And this is selfish for you to invest time, money, and resources, because again, by you healing yourself, you're helping you heal your family and heal the world. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Okay, hold on one second here. Wait one sec here. Okay, Ray is here. I just want to make sure Ray is here. Okay. All right. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so quick recap. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we just talked about it. How can I make peace with my inner critic? I have no time. This is a common inner critic. I'm too busy. Maybe later. This is a huge one. Oh, catch it on the next time. Do it the next time. First of all, we are not planning on running another scholarship like this. Okay. We're not planning on running another partial scholarship. So just know that this is a limited opportunity. And this is not like a sales thing. I'm trying to sell you something. It's actually like me trying to sell you on yourself, and also being fully transparent that this isn't something we're going to continue to offer. Okay. All the time. Does that make sense? So when the brain tells you maybe later, catch you on the next time, that's not you don't want to go there. Okay. Right. I don't have any money or resources. Again, we will figure this out. We have 3 different partners. We have funding options. You can work with, a family member, your husband, a partner, a friend, part-time job, whatever the thing is, we will figure something out for you. Okay. I have no courage. Again, fear of judgment, right? So we have to make our purpose and our healing and transformation and silencing our inner critic and living our highest version of ourselves and living the best version of our life. That has to become more important, choosing courage over fear and letting go of judgment. Okay. I have no faith. This works for Jennie, not for me. This isn't going to work. We just talked about this. Again, I have no right to put myself first. Self-love is not selfish. And healing and transformation is not selfish. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the imposter syndrome. And I talked about this a little bit yesterday with the taskmaster, that 70% of people feel insecure and unworthy of accomplishments. And this ties into the imposter syndrome as well. So the imposter syndrome shows up, we're also judging ourselves, just like we do with the taskmaster and with the perfectionist. We judge ourselves, we judge others, but mostly ourselves. We compare ourselves to others. This is a huge one, especially for women, constantly comparing ourselves to others. So I invite you to think about this as you are 100% unique. Okay, there is no one else like you on the planet. So when you start to reframe your mindset around this, you know that there is no comparison, because there is literally no one else like you on the planet. No one has your talents. No one has your story. No one has your personality. No one has, all the gifts that you're meant to share with the world. It's all 100% unique. And we also tell ourselves, again, I'm not worthy. I'm not enough wound. So some other things that the inner critic says is I don't have, or things to say to the inner critic rather, is I don't have to be perfect and free from mistakes, right? So we can let go of any fear of failure or any fear of this isn't going to work. We have to reset our mindset to positivity, because the brain has a negative bias. So we actually have to retrain the brain to be positive. I'm doing the best I can right now. I can be afraid and still do it anyway. It's okay to feel like I'm feeling. I hear you, but I'm not listening to you today. I'm good enough and worthy of love and belonging from others. Okay. Okay. So I love this picture. This is our soul sister picture. And this is one of the huge, I guess, benefits of our community is it is a very close-knit soul sister community. And I can guarantee you're going to make connections with other women, many that are lifelong friendships. And this is one of the many reasons why we've built this community, is because some of my closest friendships are other yoga teachers and other women that want to support other women. Okay, this is about very much women supporting other women. Okay, holding each other's hand, just like they're doing in this picture, and lifting each other up. Okay, those are the type of women and students that we want in this program, that want to move forward into not only healing themselves, but helping other women heal. And it could be helping women and men, right? It doesn't have to be just women if you choose to help men as well. Men need help too, right? It's just that we've chosen to focus on trying to support women. Okay, so embodying your true self-worth and value within, right? So what is your heart? What is your soul? What is your inside value versus a false sense of confidence? And we talked a little bit about this yesterday, right? So we're tuning into our radical self-acceptance, perfectly imperfect, tuning into that 100% uniqueness that each of us have. And so you actually could create a practice of a transformation or affirmation of telling yourself, I am 100% unique. I am 100% unique. I am 100% unique. And one of the things that I've done, and this is another tip and story that I actually have written, I am enough. I am worthy. I am beautiful, in lipstick on my mirror. And I also have, you also can put sticky notes. So this is a constant reminder every single day that you're telling yourself that you are enough, so that you can overcome the imposter syndrome that tells you, who do you think you are, right? Who do you think you are to use your voice? Who do you think you are to tell your story? Who do you think you are to coach and lead other people? Who do you think you are to teach yoga or meditation or mindfulness or yoga psychology? Who do you think you are? Who are you to talk about healing generational trauma? Okay. So I'm getting goosebumps talking about this, because if I wouldn't have healed my imposter syndrome, if I wouldn't have healed my taskmaster, if I wouldn't have healed my perfectionist, if I wouldn't have healed those common inner thoughts of telling myself, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have courage, I'm scared, I'm selfish by doing these things. If I wouldn't have overcome those, I wouldn't be here talking with you all today. Okay. So again, I'm a living testimony. I'm an advocate of going through the healing and transformation so that you can help others do the same. And again, it doesn't mean you have to be a teacher. It doesn't mean you have to be a coach. It can be in your own family. It could be amongst your friends. Maybe you're going to be an advocate and someone who's going to help other people amongst your friends. And that's how you're going to show up to help heal the world. So again, we're no longer comparing ourselves. We're believing that we are each 100% unique. And one way that you can do this is you can actually write down, what are my strengths, right? Or what, and also knowing your strength. Like every single one of us has gone through something really, really hard that we don't give ourselves credit for. Okay, that it took an tremendous amount of strength to get through. But we don't give ourselves credit for that, right? So whatever that hard thing was, maybe it was losing a parent, maybe it was losing a spouse, maybe you're having difficulty with your children, maybe it's losing a job, maybe you struggled with starting a business, whatever the thing is. Maybe you've struggled with even like teaching yoga. Some of you that have certifications already and you're looking to do an advanced certification. I hear this all the time about imposter syndrome, that students have been afraid to show up in the world and teach Okay, so we are here to help support you through that process to actually be able to figure out what your story and your platform is and what you want to focus on using yoga psychology as a platform. Okay, so let go of fear and self-doubt and living in clarity and purpose. So we would invite you to consider setting a sankalpa, what we call your intention. And going deeper into that is your why. What is your why, right? What is your why for whatever the thing is, right? So whether you want to help women who struggle with cancer, whether you want to help someone who struggles with autoimmune disease, there's some different examples of women I've talked to, someone who wants to work with women that are empty nesters, someone that wants to work with women that are dealing with menopause, someone who wants to work with women or men dealing with grief, right? Someone that wants to work with others that are struggling with anxiety or depression, someone who wants to focus on taking people through a yoga psychology transformation or helping them identify the patterns that aren't working for them anymore and taking them from where they are now to where they want to be so they can live their best life and they can live their purpose, why they were brought on this planet. Because without releasing the inner critic and without releasing the imposter syndrome, if this is your inner critic, you can't fully move forward without releasing it. Okay, so we're going to help you identify and transform and transmute and heal and silence those thought patterns that aren't serving you. Okay. Okay. So from a soul work perspective, some of the things that I'd like for you to think about is we rewire the mind, right? So that's the neuroscience of yoga psychology. My nose is itchy. And we talked about that yesterday. We reset the body energetically, right? So that's part of breath work and meditation and mindfulness and the asana practice of yoga. And then ultimately, we have to go deeper into somatically releasing. We have to somatically release past trauma that is stored in the body and oftentimes in the heart space, which is why we call this soul work. So it's a combination of soul work, of shadow work, of actually doing journaling, doing different exercises, getting into your family of origin, identifying the things that might be patterns that you're not even aware of why you are behaving or doing that, the coping mechanisms and some scar patterns, we call it in yoga psychology, that you're doing. So I talked a little bit about this, that in my own family of origin, we have 4 generations of verbal, psychological, emotional, and physical abuse. And my dad was physically abused, verbally, emotionally, psychologically abused. And so when I was young, my dad had not healed those generational traumas, and he had a lot of issues with emotional instability and anger. And I'm happy to say, I know my dad loves me. I know both my parents did the best they could. And my dad has done a lot of healing through his life and therapy to heal that generational trauma. But the way it showed up in my life as a child, right? And then it showed up through my life from my 20s into my early 40s when I started all of this. And I was literally like, again, running those patterns, that generational trauma and childhood trauma and eventually relationship trauma was running 95% of my thoughts, right? As coming from the subconscious mind. And those patterns were just going over and over and over again. So one of my patterns, for example, was anxiety. It was depression. It was struggling with emotional reactivity, for example. I wasn't able to stay in what we call wise mind, right? So wise mind is that place of the common path or the middle path, and it is a psychology term. And it was one of the many inspirations of why WiseMind Yoga was born, because I went through different types of therapy focused on group therapy and individual therapy. focused on how you change thought, emotion, behavior patterns, and focused on mindfulness. And that was 10 years ago. That was when I had my dark night of the soul, and I had a breakdown, I had a burnout to break through. But that is, again, one of the inspirations and one of the stepping stones to why I teach what I do now, and why I'm so adamant and passionate about yoga for mental health and emotional health and spiritual and physical health and overall wellness, because it works. And so you have to be able to take the mind, the body, and the soul. It is the science and the soul. It is the somatic work, again, the science of releasing trauma and stuck emotions in the body. And we actually talk about the science of emotion, that you actually have a measurement of hertz of your emotions. And like, for example, guilt and shame are in the lowest vibration that you can be at. And that is why when you beat yourself up and self-sabotage, and you let the inner critic voice beat you up over and over again, there is a reason why you feel so bad, because you are in the lowest vibration that you can be at. Anger is somewhere in the middle between courage and shame. And courage is at a 200, and that's the absolute minimum that they recommend you being at to be at a state of well-being. And then you get up into love. Unconditional love is a 500 vibration. You get into peace, and gratitude is even higher. So in order to get into these different frequencies of love, and yes, there is an actual science behind emotion and behind frequency. This isn't just woo-woo stuff, okay? Because when we're healing ourselves from the inside out, we're doing that with breath work and meditation and prayer, and from the outside in with the yoga practice, the actual physical practice. And also, if you choose to say walk in nature, that is also healing from the outside in, moving your body, right? So I hope this is making sense for you. And I want you to write this down. The science of emotion, or write a comment like soul work, right? Or make a comment or write this down of I am 100% unique, or just comment unique. Comment self-worth, right? Or write this down, self-worth. So I want you to take a minute to think about, how is this impacting you to not silence your imposter syndrome inner critic? What is it keeping you from doing? Is it keeping you from scheduling a scholarship call? I don't know. Not that I'm telling you to schedule a scholarship call, no big deal, but is the imposter syndrome creating the fear, right? Of who do you think you are to schedule a scholarship call? Okay, it's very possible. Or your perfectionist inner critic is saying, let's just keep going in perfect procrastination over here. Let's just keep waiting till the last minute. So I want to bring this up again because it's important, because I don't want you to stay stuck. Okay. I want you to be able to live your purpose. And if you are inspired to teach this stuff and to go through this transformation, then I invite you to let go of the fear and step into transformation. Okay. All right, so Lindsay struggled with perfectionism and the imposter syndrome. So the sadhana practices allowed me to release the hardest patterns of my life, learning to love myself unconditionally. My prayer is that anyone ready for transformation allows Jennie to be their guide so that they may receive her gifts. So Lindsay is a spiritual yoga entrepreneur. She actually was one of our mentors. She's a teacher, a yoga teacher graduate. And the sadhana practice is actually around breath work. It is around singing. It's around sound therapy. We do some affirmations. That is what a spiritual sadhana practice is. And we've divided those out into sadhana videos and asana videos, so that if, for example, in the morning, you want to do a sadhana practice, and you're going to have me take you through pranayama breath work and guided meditation and some type of singing or affirmations, that's what the sadhana practice is. Okay. All right, so here's another case study. This is Anita, and she moved also from perfectionism and imposter syndrome. And what she learned was to improve her self-esteem dramatically, learning to cope with past grief and trauma from divorce. If you're looking for a program to find your true inner self while learning to balance what life brings you, my recommendation is find a way to join Jennie and change your life for the better. You will not regret it. So Anita is also one of our WiseMind graduates. She is works for a software company. She's a high-tech professional. And she was working full-time, as many of our students are. We have a lot of students that are working part-time or full-time. In addition, some of them are running businesses. They're business owners. We have others that are full-time moms, and they're starting, a yoga or wellness business, or they're finishing, going deeper into their certifications. So coming from all different places. Okay. But just know that the way we have set this up, we've made it really, really easy for you to be able to get your certifications while also working. And it's important for me to mention that over 50% of these videos are set up almost like a podcast style, so that you can be listening to them on your computer, on your phone, in the background. And then we have handouts that go with almost all the videos that you can go back to. And then we also have the videos, like I just mentioned, with the sadhana and the yoga practices, where you obviously are going to want to carve out specific time. When you are doing soul work and shadow work, and you're getting into family origin work, you're going to want to carve out time for that, right? If you're doing journaling exercises or different exercises that we take you through, you're going to want to carve out time for that. But I would say over 50% of the videos that we put together for you in our e-learning system platform, you can mark them complete. You can go back to them midway, but they are meant to be like a podcast style, if that makes sense. You also have me supporting you in a Facebook group twice a month going live. Okay. All right. So we invite you to post the homework in the group. You can tag me, and also Rhea will post this again. Rhea, if you can put the scholarship link in the comments. We want you to commit on a scale of 1 to 10, how much you're focused on transforming your imposter syndrome. We want you to journal 3 sentences, imagining your future self without the stress and anxiety caused by your imposter syndrome inner critic. And what would I do if I wasn't afraid? Often fear holds us back from growth. So what are some things that you would do if you were not afraid, if you were fearless and you had courage? I love the word fearless, right? What would you do? Would you teach yoga? Would you teach meditation? Would you teach yoga psychology? Would you start doing coaching? Would you start teaching? Would you start mentoring other women? Would you start a ministry? Whatever the thing is, okay? What is something to release from your heart, right? So this is part of that soul work, and part of the shadow work is what needs to be released from your heart and your soul. Do you need to forgive yourself for self-sabotage? Do you need to forgive yourself for different inner critics, for the imposter syndrome of who do you think you are? Are there others that you need to forgive, that you judge? Okay. So again, the scholarship, not that I'm suggesting that you should do the scholarship, because I'm not saying that you should. And, if you don't, again, it's not a big deal, but we are here to support you through these partial scholarships, because again, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are giving a significant scholarship, even in the partial scholarships, of what you're getting. And we're giving away it's something like over $10,000 in bonuses. And there's a big percentage that we're taking off of the dual certification that we're offering for yoga teaching and coaching, for yoga psychology. And then the first 5 students have the option again to join us in Sedona in October in Arizona. So if any of this resonates for you and you're like, I want to heal my inner critic, then get on the scholarship link and book a call. Okay. Not that I'm saying that you should, but if you, by now, you might be curious about yoga psychology. You might be curious about wanting to get a teacher training certification. You might be curious about the coaching aspect and mentoring. You might be curious about, healing and transformation for yourself, because this is the same process that I've gone through, that I'm teaching you guys. This is the same process that I sat one-on-one with students for 4 years while I owned the yoga studio, as I did one-on-one yoga psychology coaching. And I've given you guys that exact process that you can then reuse on yourself or other students or as a coach. So the same questions, the same process. I've done these videos. This is, I'm sitting right with you and taking you through it. So if you are one of those last minute students, book a call. Okay. Rhea is going to put the link in the comments. It takes about 10 minutes to fill out the form, and we'll get on a call somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes. I have scheduled out time in my schedule for this evening, for tomorrow and Saturday. And Saturday is the last day. So literally, if you are one of those students waiting till the last minute, I wouldn't continue to wait, because like I said, we've got about, I don't know, I think it's 2.5 days at this point now. Okay. So I have carved out, for those of you that might be on the Pacific Coast, I have carved out into later in the evening for somebody who might be in Mountain Standard Time or Pacific time. So I've gone pretty late, I think till 10 o'clock Eastern time for that reason, till this evening. Same thing on Friday. And then I've opened my schedule on Saturday. So I'm not going to be teaching yoga this week, because I'm opening my schedule for calls on Saturday. So again, I don't normally do that on a weekend. So, and then we're going to announce winners on Sunday, the 23rd. So one last time, this is going to be opening up to the public, starting on Sunday after we make our announcement. So this will start going out to everyone. Right now, this is limited to the people that have been involved in the Facebook group, to the people who have registered for the workshop. And we're limiting it to this through Saturday. Okay. So again, we would love to support you. We are here to find the students that are committed to their healing and transformation, that are committed financially, time-wise, and energetically to either heal themselves, transform and silence their inner critic, or they want to support other students as a coach, as a mentor, as a teacher, or whether it's a ministry, whatever the thing is that you want to create. And this program is going to help you get there, because I can tell you that by releasing and healing, and silencing these inner critics, it is going to open up doors for you that you can't even imagine. And again, I'm here speaking from my own testimony, from what I've seen in my life and what I've seen from hundreds of students. So if I didn't believe in all this, I wouldn't be teaching it, and I certainly wouldn't be running programs around it. So this is evidence-based. It is based on science. So just know that this isn't like a bunch of woo-woo stuff. I mean, there is a spiritual component, and there is parts of soul work and somatic work and trauma-informed work that is intuitive, and it just has to happen, and you have to be open to it and releasing. And that's the soul part, right? That's the spiritual part. That's the emotional and mental well-being, and also physical well-being part, because if we hold all that trauma in our body, eventually it will manifest as cancer, as autoimmune disease, as depression, anxiety, a whole list of different things that it can manifest. They've actually seen people have heart problems that have resentment or unforgiveness or trauma or different things that they've stored in their heart space, and it actually has affected their heart, the health of their heart, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of science behind all of this, and we teach you guys about the science of breath work and yoga and meditation and mindfulness. Okay, and it's a really good way to get in with students that may be a little bit hesitant about meditation or yoga, that once you start teaching them that way, and we actually give you a whole workshop, a whole meditation workshop that you can then take and teach. We give you done for you handouts. So in the group, we have also, put a video in the group too. It's a 10-minute, like frequently asked questions and just a 10-minute quick overview of the program, that it's a 6-month program. It's lifetime access to all the videos, and we support you during those 6 months. And then if you're wanting to get your certification, we work with you on those projects, and then you get your certification. So in yoga, you're on the honor system as far as how long it might take for you to get through those videos. So it's not like a high pressure. We make it very low pressure, and there is no pass fail. We don't fail anyone in the program. So just know that we are very much like a mindful self-compassion and a loving, supportive environment that we're creating. Definitely not meant to like add to stress or add to overwhelm. We are creating this soul sister community and of support and love and kindness and all the things. Okay. I almost kind of consider this a ministry as much as I do a program. That's really what we're about, to be here to support other soul sisters. Okay. So again, we're doing calls through this evening. I think it's around 10 o'clock Eastern time. Tomorrow, I believe it's still 10 o'clock Eastern time. I've started sometime, I don't think until the afternoon though. So the calls open up on my schedule in the afternoon. Because I actually don't have time tomorrow morning. I have something else going on. So I literally have this afternoon through this evening, tomorrow afternoon through the evening, and then Saturday, most of the day I've carved out. We do have other students that have booked calls throughout. So you're going to see blocking, and we have people that have blocked calls already on Saturday. So again, if you're one of those last minute people, now's the time. Okay. This is kind of last minute, right? You can continue to watch the videos. You'll have the replays through the weekend. Don't feel like you have to watch all of these until we get on the phone. If this is resonating for you and you're feeling called, don't let your inner critic tell you, right? Like, I don't have the time. I'm too busy. Maybe later, maybe another time. I'm not ready. You're never 100% ready. # ready is a lie. This isn't going to work for me. This is selfish. If I invest in myself, like, all the things. Okay. All right. So let me second. Me one. Look over here. Okay, beautiful. So we have some of you over here, self-worth. I am unique. I seal this healing. Beautiful. Got people from all over here. Beautiful, you guys. So welcome. I want to say one last thing, that I'm so grateful for each and every one of you that have watched the replay, that have done the homework, that have showed up live here. I know that each and every one of you are super busy, and I value everybody's time. So I am sending you so much love, light, and blessing. Again, it takes about 10 minutes to fill out the form. We'll get on a call, 15 to 30 minutes, get on a Zoom, and it's very low pressure, right? It's just me having a conversation with you about why you may want to be one of the partial scholarship winners, and why you want to invest in yourself, and why you may potentially want to be a yoga teacher or a coach. Okay. All right, you all, I'm sending you so much love, light, and blessing. Namaste. And again, I cannot wait to continue to connect. We will be here tomorrow at noon Eastern time. We're going to be doing a yoga psychology roadmap tomorrow, and how we start to focus on healing and transformation. So namaste. We will post the homework in the comments in the group, and you'll be able to have this replay up. We'll also post it at the top of the page. if for some reason you want to go back to it. So sending you so much love, light, and blessing, and cannot wait to continue to connect with all of you. Namaste.